On the news, Dangote refinery slashes ex-depot petrol price by 15 naira. Senate President Akpabio petitions IGP, demands Natasha's prosecution. And Kano Deputy Governor leads delegation to Edo State due to Iromi killings. It's glad to have you join us on the news on TV 360 Nigeria. I'm Tamilore Akinkolie. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has reduced its ex-depot price of petrol from 880 naira to 865 naira per litre. This 15 naira slash confirmed by refinery officials and reflected on petroleum price website is expected to lead to a drop in pump prices at major filling stations like MRS, Adova and Aden, bringing the retail price to around 910 naira per litre. The reduction follows a recent meeting between Dangote refinery representatives and Minister of Finance Wale Edun, during which the government reaffirmed the continuation of the Naira for crude policy to support local refining and reduce pressure on the dollar. The Naira for crude policy, initiated by the Federal Executive Council in July 2024, mandates the NNPC to supply crude to local refineries, including Dangote, in Naira. Though temporarily suspended in March 2025 due to a 6-month expiry under the former NNPC leadership, the recent removal of Mele Kyari and the appointment of a new 11-man board by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has revived the policy. With Dangote refinery now resuming Naira-based crude purchases, fuel price stability is expected to return, offering Nigerians some relief from skyrocketing petrol prices that had hit nearly 1,000 naira per litre. Now, joining me to discuss this further is economist Akin Ogunshola. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ogunshola. Now, what is your take on the revival of this Naira for crude policy? Do you think it would have a significant impact on Nigeria's local refinery capacity and also reduce dependence on foreign exchange?
Yeah, I think one of the impact of the Naira for crude deal that was suspended was that we saw the exchange rate, shooting up from 1,530 to about 1,680 naira. So the impact of this is that it will help to reduce the pressure on the dollar, and it will also help to reduce the price of petrol, which we have seen a 15% reduction in the price of fuel from Dangote refineries today. So the impact will still be felt more, but as time goes on, when the contract and the supply is stable, then we'll see more reduction in the price of petroleum pump price.
Now, just like you said, the recent reduction in pump prices is attributed to this revival of Naira crude policy. Now, how much of an effect would this have on inflation and the general cost of living in Nigeria?
Well, the effect to have on inflation is going to be a little drop in inflation. However, we've seen the food prices dropped sharply in the last month, but we still expect a further reduction as a result of the reduction in price of fuel. We also await the NNPC to also announce a reduction in their own pump price. This reduction will further reduce inflation. Probably it might not be a sharp one, the way Nigerians are anticipating and expecting, but it's going to be a very slight reduction.
All right. Thank you for lending in your thoughts as always, Mr. Akin Ogunshola. Thank you so much. Moving on to other stories, Senate President Godswill Akpabio has formally petitioned the Inspector General of Police, Kaide Egbetokun, over what he termed a criminally defamatory and inciting statement by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, who accused him of plotting her assassination. And the petition, dated April 3rd and copied to the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, Akpabio dismissed the claim, which it says is crafted to damage his reputation, incite unrest, and put his life life at risk. The allegation stems from a speech by Akpoti Uduaghan on April the 1st in Kogi State, where she claims that Akpabio had directed former Governor Yaya Bello to eliminate her within the state, making it appear as an attack from a constituent. Akpabio described the allegation as politically motivated, lacking any credible evidence, and aimed at casting him as a political villain. He called for an immediate investigation by the police and urged the prosecution of Akpoti Uduaghan under laws addressing criminal defamation, incitement, and conduct likely to cause public disorder. And a high-powered committee led by Kano State Deputy Governor Aminu Abdulazam Gwazo departed for Edo State on Thursday to investigate the recent killings in Urumi village. The tragic incident, which occurred last month, has escalated tensions within the community. Tasked with a fact-finding and peace-building mission, the committee includes notable figures. The committee was formed in response of growing concerns over the violent attacks, which has claimed several lives and displaced many residents, including Kano indigents. During their week-long visit, the committee plans to meet with Edo State Governor, security agencies, traditional rulers, and civil society organizations. This initiative is part of a broader effort by the Northern Governors Forum to address rising insecurities across Nigeria and foster national unity. And former presidential candidate and human rights activist Omoyele Sowore has condemned the recent spate of killings in Plateau and Borno State, accusing Nigeria's security agencies of gross negligence. Leading a peaceful protest at the police force headquarters in Abuja, Sowore criticized the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, for what it described as the Nigeria police force failure to act decisively against rising insecurity. Sowore further alleged that the IGP's tenure has expired and questioned why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu continues to retain him with other officers of the same rank who have retired. He called for Egbetokun's immediate removal and demanded the appointment of a new police chief capable of restoring public confidence and strengthening the country's internal security architecture.
Over 60 persons were killed in Plateau State last week.
Yes.
It is after they were killed that Egbetokun decided that he will mobilize the tactical squads. What happened to intelligence gathering? Is it the intelligence department only for tracking social media critics of the government? How is it that the Nigeria police force cannot gather intelligence and know that 60 people will be massacred in Plateau? The same thing happened in Katsina. We are hearing today that the Borno governor has come out and said they are losing Borno State to Boko Haram all over again. And you have an IG who is retired and tired, who has refused to leave office. Borno State is back in the hands of Boko Haram. Don't let anybody deceive you. It is not the job of the army to be fighting internal security. It's the job of the police. But the police that is headed by a person who is tired and who has retired cannot have the morale to fight crime or fight insecurity or terrorism. That is what we are saying. That you cannot hold the destiny of the Nigerian police force and its institution to one man.
The Ondo State Police Command has recovered 3 headless cubs from a river in Odigbo local government area, sparking shock and fear among residents. The decomposing bodies, some found lodged on the river banks, were discovered on Wednesday by locals who immediately raised the alarm. Our witnesses suspect the victims may have been murdered by kidnappers and dumped in the river. Police spokesperson Ayonlade Olayinka confirmed the gruesome find and stated the detective from the Oro division were dispatched to the scene as soon as the case was reported. The bodies were subsequently taken to the morgue at the General Hospital. Now, despite a effort to involve local leaders in identifying the victims, no one has come forward so far. Olayinka noted that the area shares border with Ogun and Edo states, and investigators believe the bodies may have been transported from another location before being dumped. Lawmakers from the Northeast has voiced their concerns over the region's exclusion from the federal government's Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone program. In a press briefing following an emergency meeting at the National Assembly in Abuja, senators and House of Representatives members from Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Taraba, and Yobe states criticized the omission, calling it unacceptable given the region's significant agricultural potential. Despite being the largest geopolitical zone by landmass and a major contributor to livestock and crop production, the Northeast was excluded from the program, which covers 7 states and the FCT. The lawmakers, led by representatives, decried what they describe as a consistent pattern of marginalization in federal projects and appointments.
We are extremely worried that our zone is excluded completely from the SAPZ program, regarded as a presidential priority project and a direct response to long-standing challenges facing Nigeria's agricultural value chain, including poor infrastructure, limited access to markets, and low value chain addition. Lament the exclusion of the Northeast geopolitical zone from the processing zones, despite its enormous agricultural potential, cutting across all sector value chains in the country. 3, appeal for the immediate inclusion of the Northeast geopolitical zone in the special agro-industrial processing zones, SAPZ. This is not only for fairness and inclusivity, but for the actualization of the lofty ideals of the present administration to industrialize Nigeria's agricultural sector and create sustainable jobs in the country.
Northeast sub-region, as earlier highlighted, used to be the poor of the poorest region even before the advent of the insurgents, that is the Boko Haram. And our situation was further worsened by the activities of the insurgents. So if there is a single zone, as far as this country is concerned, that should be given the attention, the required attention, particularly with regards to issue of development and so on and so forth, is Northeast, because stability of one zone is a function of the stability of the other zones. In other words, stability of Northeast sub-region is very, very critical and important to the stability of the remaining 5 geopolitical zones in the country. So this is why whenever we see where we are being shortchanged, there is a need for us to draw the attention of the policymakers that we still exist as human beings and we deserve to be treated as.
The Nigeria Union of Journalists and NUJ FCT Council is set to make history with a Guinness World Record attempt for the longest interviewing marathon as part of this year's World Press Freedom Day celebrations. The 72-hour event, themed Nigeria Our Strength, will take place from April 17 to 20th, 2025 at Arupa Golf Club in Abuja. Convened by media advocate Livinus Chibuike Victor, the marathon aims to spotlight the critical role journalists play in shaping democracy, promoting accountability, and amplifying marginalized voices.
Despite the increasing threat to press freedom across the world, including censorship, harassment, and violence against journalists, journalists continue to carry out their mission with courage and integrity. As misinformation spreads and trust in the institution wavers, professional journalism remains a vital defense against disinformation and manipulation. This press release underscores a call to protect press freedom, invest in quality journalism, stop the harassment of journalists, and recognize the indispensable role of journalists in fostering open societies.
Press freedom is not a privilege. It is a fundamental pillar of democracy, and protecting this freedom is our collective responsibility as journalists, policymakers, and citizens of the world. The media landscape is evolving, no doubt. Technology has opened new frontiers for storytelling, access to information, and engagement with audiences. Yet, it also presents challenges: the spread of misinformation, the weaponization of fake news, and the erosion of public trust in the media. As journalists, we must embrace innovation while holding firmly
It's time for a short break, but still to come on news now. Death toll in Dominican nightclub disaster rises to 218. Details of the story will be brought to you right after this break. Welcome back. Now let's give you a quick recap of some of our top stories. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has reduced its ex-depot price of petrol from 880 naira to 865 naira per litre. The reduction follows a recent meeting between Dangote Refinery representative and the Minister of Finance Wale Edom, during which the government reaffirms the continuation of the naira for crude policy to support local refining and reduce pressure on the dollar. We also told you that a high-powered committee led by Kano State Deputy Governor Aminu Abdusalam departed for Edo State on Thursday to investigate the recent killings in Uromi village. The committee was formed in response to growing concerns over the violent attacks, which has claimed several lives and displaced many residents, including Kano indigents. Now, in case you missed any of the news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Lime's World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. It's time for business news, and Opayemi Owosheni is on standby to give us more updates. Over to you, Opayemi.
Thank you, Tamilore, and welcome to business news. The Nigerian government says it is planning to launch an electronic visa system on May 1, 2025. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, announced the development during a joint briefing with the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo. In a statement announcing the initiative, Keyamo said the ministries also plan to digitalize the landing and exit card at International Airport. Keyamo said the intervention will be carried out by the Ministry of Aviation as well as the Ministry of Interior. The Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, says the United States and China's trade war could reduce global gross domestic product by 7%. On Wednesday, United States President Donald Trump raised China's tariff rate from 104% to 125% and paused tariffs for dozens of other countries. Now, in a statement on Wednesday, Okonjo-Iweala said the U.S. and China accounted for 3% of world trade combined. According to her, the escalating trade war between the two economic giants will slash trade between both countries by up to 80%. The DG warned that the conflict could severely damage the global economic outlook. We'll go on a break now. I'll be back with stock market updates. Welcome back. Now, Nigeria's equities market routed north on Thursday by 0.58% as investors bought mostly banking, insurance, consumer goods and oil and gas stock. That's despite muted pressure on industrial stocks. The record positive close on Thursday moderated this week's dip to 0.69% and this month's decline to 0.83%, while strengthening the returns this year to 1.81%. Now, Captain increased from 2 naira 10 kobo to 2 naira 31 kobo, adding 21 kobo in the process. Now, it was followed by FVDD Group after its price rose from 72 naira 60 kobo to 79 naira 80 kobo. Now, at the close of trading in 12,027 deals, stock traders exchanged 432 million shares valued at 9.71 billion naira. Now, on the foreign scene, as selected global equities closed with mixed outcomes as the UK FTSE and Japan's Nikkei ended in bullish territory. It's a different case, however, for the United States Dow Jones as stocks fell on Thursday, giving back half of the gains from the historic rally seen in the previous session after President Donald Trump announced a 90-day reprieve on some of his reciprocal tariffs. Now, in the parallel market, the naira depreciated further against major foreign currencies, trading at 1,610 naira against the US dollar, 2,060 naira against the pound, and 1,730 naira against the euro. That's it on both business and stock market updates. Back to you, Tamilore, for the rest of the news.
Thank you for that update, Opayemi. And on the global scene, the European Commission has announced a 90-day pause on its retaliatory measures against the United States, but also issued a pointed warning to President Donald Trump regarding ongoing trade tensions. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen made the statement following Trump's surprise decision to suspend steep tariffs on dozens of countries for the same 90-day period. The move triggered a wave of relief across global financial markets, with the FTSE surging more than 6% shortly after trading opened as investors welcomed the temporary de-escalation. However, the U.S. president simultaneously intensified pressures on China, raising tariffs on Chinese import from 104 to a staggering 125%, further escalating the trade dispute between the world's two largest economies. And the death toll from the devastating roof collapse at the Jet Set nightclub in San Domingo, Dominican Republic, has risen to 218, according to the latest update from officials, as the focus shifts from rescue to recovery. The tragic collapse occurred early Tuesday morning while the iconic nightclub was packed with musicians, professional athletes, and government officials. Witnesses said dust began falling from the ceiling and into drinks shortly before the roof gave way, plunging the venue into chaos. Now, citing Emergency Operation Director Juan Manuel Mendez, reported that 218 people have been confirmed dead, while 189 others were rescued alive from the rubble. And on sport, in a powerful showcase of athleticism, resilience, and hope, Borno State is played host to the Touch of Unity, a symbolic sporting event aimed at promoting peace and cohesion ahead of the forthcoming National Sport Festival. Organizers say the event underscores the state commitment to healing through engagement and inclusion, using sport as a unifying force to rebuild trust and opportunity among young people. Now, TV360's correspondent Solomon Josiah has more details in this next report.
Held at the State Secretariat in Maiduguri, the hosting of the Touch of Unity sorting event brought together athletes, officials, and residents from across the state, uniting communities once torn apart by conflict. More than a sporting spectacle, Touch of Unity serves as a rallying point, offering a space where teamwork, dialogue, and mutual respect thrive. Representing the governor, the secretary to the state government reaffirmed the administration's strong support for sport as a tool for empowerment and reconciliation. He encouraged the athletes to remain focused and bring pride to the state at the national stage.
This is not only a unification event, but it's also an event that should bring out the talents in our young sportsmen and women. It also gives hope for Nigeria and Borno and the other states to showcase our talents, to showcase our expertise so that we can participate in other national and international events.
Also in attendance was a representative of the National Sport Commission who emphasized that her visit was part of a national strategy to ensure preparedness ahead of the national festival. She applauded the state for its commitment to fostering sporting excellence despite its past challenges. For coaches and players alike, The event is more than just a warm-up. It is a declaration of ambition and pride. Young athletes express optimism, promising to give their all and represent Borno State with dignity and strength in the National Sports Festival.
We are going there to win, to pick a medal, either gold or silver or bronze.
I'm a volleyball player and I'm so excited to play this game. I really enjoy it. Even if I'm sad, whenever I went to the field, I always forgot about everything. So in this 2025 festival, which is going to take place in Ogun State, all we are expecting is for us to go and win and come back so that we can make our governor, which is Baba Gana Umar Rasul, and the commissioner that are always supporting us in everything we do, financially and any other thing that we need. They always give us their 100% support. So our expectation is to give them what they want, which is to go there, play and win.
I like this game and I'm glad and I'm proud to play basketball, and my expectation is to win in every game I do.
The Touch of Unity has shown that sports can unite and inspire. It is a step towards peace, driven by talent and togetherness. Solomon Josiah, TV360, Borno.
Former Super Eagles health coach Usepa Siro is facing mounting pressures at Egyptian club Zamalek following the team's early exit from the CAF Confederation Cup. Zamalek crashed out of the tournament after a 1-0 aggregate loss to South Africa. Pasiro, who was appointed in February 2025, has had a mixed start with the Cairo Giants, recording 5 wins, 6 draws and 2 defeats in 13 matches across all competitions. With expectations high at the club, the Confederation Cup elimination has put the Portuguese coach's future under scrutiny. And that wraps up our bulletin on news now. Many thanks for watching. I'm Tamilore Akinkwoliye. See you again next time.